everyone, so I just filmed a Foster Care Friday video. I'll leave the link below, but I also wanted to film a pregnancy update, which is so exciting to be doing. The kids are at school or taking a nap and Chris is upstairs, so I have the time, I have the lighting, my makeup and hair are kind of done, and so I'm just gonna sit down here and vlog this really quick. And I wanted to talk about the early pregnancy symptoms and kind of why I tested and how things have gone so far this pregnancy. And also I will let you see the pictures from my dating ultrasound, and you'll find out how far along I am and what my estimated due date is. So very excited to share all this with you. So first off, the reason why I decided to test on Christmas Eve. Looking back, I had some early pregnancy symptoms, but I honestly just chalked them up. If you've watched my Foster Care Friday video, you kind of understand how crazy life was at that point. I have 2 foster children and 2 biological children, so I had 4 kids under 8, and it was winter break from school. So we were all home. They had just transitioned to our house, so it was just kind of an exhausting time. And so any just overwhelming tiredness I had, I've totally blamed on that, just that transition and how much that can take out of you emotionally and physically. So that should have been a warning. And if life had been kind of, you know, just Hannah and William going along as normal, it definitely would have been a red flag, just how tired I was. But really, because of the boys that were new to our life and how crazy life was at that point, it didn't even really register. So also, I'm still breastfeeding. William is 21 months, well, was 21 months old. He's almost 22 now. And he still nurses first thing in the morning. He wakes up, he comes in and nurses, and that's really the only time he nurses all day long, unless he's like falls down and gets a boo-boo or something, and that's obviously nursing is something that really calms him down. So that's pretty rare. Usually it's just once a day. And William and I have never had a problem with our nursing relationship. It's always been really easy. His latch has always been pretty good, and I've never really had any pain. And I did, like, looking back, I can now notice that sometimes in the morning when he would latch on, it would just be really painful. And I would either end the nursing session early, or I would kind of get him back into that newborn football hold where I made sure that like his latch was really proper, and that it wasn't as relaxed as, you know, it can be once they're a toddler and, you know, your body's used to nursing a toddler. I just felt like everything was a little more sensitive. And again, looking back, should have been a red flag, but I chalk it up to the fact that it was like 6:30 in the morning and I really wasn't paying attention. And I was tired, so there you go. Also, my pants are starting to get tight, and I just, again, chalked it up to the fact that maybe I was just emotionally eating, and I don't know. I was eating my feelings or something. I didn't feel like I was. I didn't feel like I was eating more than usual, or portions were more than usual or anything like that, but I figured it must be because my pants are getting tight, and I didn't want to step on the scale because I don't know. I just didn't want to. So again, it was just something that I kind of ignored and figured, well, I'm like a week away from New Year's, and so I'll just really focus on diet and exercise in the coming year after we get through the holidays. I'll be that cliche person that starts the diet on January 1st, right? Sure, why not? And the last thing that was kind of weird, and this was especially noticed on Christmas Eve, was that I was crazy bloated. Like, it kind of goes along with like weight gain, obviously, like the way that my pants were fitting, but I just remember, like, I would put on a shirt and I'd be like, ugh, like I'm so bloated. And so that morning on Christmas Eve, I was in the bathroom and I was getting ready to take a shower, and I was like, man, I am so bloated, and I was feeling my stomach, and I was just like, ooh. And then I like felt all around my stomach, and then I realized, wait a second, when I was going whatever, when I was like feeling underneath, all of a sudden it was a little harder than normal, and I was like, wait, and I felt right above my pubic bone. And instead of being like, you know, soft and kind of concave right there, right above my pubic bone was firm. And I just kind of froze. Like my whole body just froze in that instance. And I was like, oh my goodness. Like, is there any way that I could be pregnant? And so I was trying to feel like where my uterus was. I was trying to figure out like where the top of the fundus was, or my fundal height was. And because of like my C-section scars where they are, and then just how bloated I was, like I couldn't find the top, and that really freaked me out. But I just knew if it's that firm and I'm feeling it above my pubic bone, like I'm at least like 6 weeks pregnant, or I have a fibroid, or I'm just crazy and imagining things. Like I was so shocked and kind of like just going through everything in my mind. Like, have I had any morning sickness? No. I've been tired, but life has been crazy. I feel like I've gained some weight. My clothes are a little tight. I kind of look like I'm pregnant, but I've also had 2 kids and haven't really tightened my core muscles. So all this is going on in my brain. So I called Chris. Hannah had a cough, and so we needed to pick up some like children's cough syrup, because I didn't want, we were, you know, Christmas Eve. I wanted him to pick up some stuff before Christmas, and I didn't want to go to the store with 4 kids in tow. So I called him up at work, and I was like, okay, on your way home, can you stop at Walgreens, and I need you to get 3 things. And he was like, sure. And I go, can you get some children's cough syrup? And he was like, oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. And I was like, can you get some cough drops, like some legit cough drops? And he was like, yeah, okay. And I go, and can you get a digital pregnancy test? And he was like, are you kidding? Sure, yeah, sure I will. And I was like, no, really, can you get a digital pregnancy test? And he was like, seriously? And I was like, I don't know, I'm either crazy or I'm really stupid for not realizing it. Because the only like period that I could remember is I had a period at the end of July, because we were at the county fair. It was like really my first postpartum period. This is TMI, I understand, but this is a pregnancy vlog. Things get a little TMI here. And William was like 16 months old, I think, at that time. It was my first postpartum period, and I just remember it being like really heavy. And I don't remember having like a period after that point. Could have. Life has been crazy. Life has been insane. So I quick did the math, and I was like, if that's like when I conceived, you know, like after that period, I'm like 22 weeks pregnant. I think I would be able to feel things if I was 22 weeks pregnant. I also probably qualify for that TV show, like, how did you not know you were pregnant if I'm 22 weeks pregnant? So, but I didn't think I was that far along, but I could have been. And that was the scary part. So Chris got home, we tested. If you haven't seen the pregnancy test and Chris and I finding out together, do go watch it. I will leave a link down below. It was shocking. And it was very sweet also, because it was on Christmas Eve, just like Hannah was on Christmas Eve. So early pregnancy symptoms, like I've said, I've been tired, a little bit of breast tenderness, a little bit of like bloating and weight gain, no morning sickness, which is insane considering I had so much morning sickness with William. I nearly lost like 30 pounds in the first trimester. Like, I couldn't keep anything down. I was completely exhausted. And I did have some morning sickness with Hannah, but not as much. So I called up the midwives and I scheduled a dating ultrasound, and Chris unfortunately was not able to come with me, so I had to go by myself. And what I should have done, I regret not looking at like ultrasound pictures for like each week and kind of having that in my brain, so that as soon as I saw the baby on screen, I kind of knew. Because what happened is she put the probe on and I saw the baby, but I didn't see, it wasn't like moving, which really freaked me out. And so she goes, so this is baby, this is the head, this is the body. She's like, and there's a little heart beating. And I was like, like that. It was a huge weight off my shoulders to see that little heart beating. Once she pointed it out, I could see the flickering. And she goes, okay, now that we know that there's a baby and there's only one baby in there, I'm gonna go look at the ovaries and everything. And I was like, no, tell me how far along I am. So finally she was done checking everything else out. She went back and she measured the crown rump length. And then she was like, okay, like here's some pictures. And I was like, how far along am I? And she goes, the doctor will come back in and tell you. It'll probably take like 10 minutes. It took 23 minutes for the doctor to come back in, and I was just terrified. I kind of had an idea, but I wasn't positive. And she came in and said that I was 9 weeks and 6 days pregnant. So, okay, that's not an embarrassing amount. It's less than 10 weeks. That's okay. Considering how crazy life was, like, I could see how you would miss it if you didn't have morning sickness. Sure. The baby looked really good. Heartbeat was 161, and you know, it looked good. So I will show you, I got 3 pictures from that ultrasound, so I will put them in here now. You can see that the baby is like a third head and it has the little tiny arms, kind of the little tiny legs, and I've never had an ultrasound at 10 weeks before. I've always had them at like 6-ish weeks and then 12-ish weeks for the NT scan, the nuchal translucency scan. So I've never seen my babies at 10 weeks, and it's amazing to me how much they change from 10 weeks to the 12-week ultrasound, where they honestly, they really look like a baby. They have kind of fully formed arms and legs, and their head is not a third of their body. It's a little, looks more like a head. So anyways, it's just amazing transition from 10 weeks to 12 weeks, and so I cannot wait to go back for the NT scan. My mom's gonna come up and watch the kids, and so Chris gets to go with me, and I'm super excited because the one thing that we haven't heard yet was we haven't heard the heartbeat. I've seen the heartbeat flicker, and I saw it like on the screen, but she didn't have the like volume up, so I didn't get to hear it. So I can't wait to hear that little heartbeat and hopefully to see it move. I saw it move one time during the like 9-week, 6-day ultrasound, and it just kind of did like a little flop. So I know how much it moves at 12 weeks, and I can't wait to see that on the screen and just kind of, I don't know, see the baby. I'm super excited. So anyway, those are kind of the early pregnancy symptoms, and why I decided to test really was just that hard uterus and feeling it above the pubic bone. That I will always remember that moment of just being like, how did I not know? And how in the world did this happen naturally? Because that's just a miracle. That was an amazing moment. So anyways, the estimated due date is July 28th. I am gonna be huge and pregnant during the hottest week of the summer here in Oregon. Like, can't wait, super excited. So I finally get a summer baby. I remember here on YouTube a couple years ago, like everyone wanted to have a summer baby, and so I guess I got a summer baby. I have a September baby and a March baby, and now I'm gonna have a July baby. So if you have any questions or comments, or oh my goodness, you're pregnant, comments to leave, feel free to leave them down below. I'm very, very excited. Make sure you follow me on Facebook and Instagram. I'm going to be posting pictures and stuff as the pregnancy progresses on there. I'm definitely going to keep you updated there. I'm hoping to do weekly updates, and I have that NT scan scheduled and coming up, and I can't wait to talk about that in the 12-week update. So thank you so much for all your support. I love you guys, and I will talk to you later. Okay, bye.